What is up, YouTube? What is going on, fellow fantasy people? And of course, what is going on, the catch fam? You already know what time it is, man. We are rolling right into another mock draft. I'm rolling with ESPN's format. Got the 7th overall selection and PPR scoring format. And yeah, we are ready to roll. Side note, I am at the beach, so the setup is quite different. I look kind of like a Matthew McConaughey beach bum, but nonetheless, happy as ever to bring you guys this fantasy content and these mock drafts. I did bring uh, Baker with me. I haven't found a way to display him, but we are feeling dangerous, man. It is almost draft time for myself. When I get back from this vacation, actually, the day I get back, I'll be conducting my 20-man mock draft. And then that Wednesday of that week, September 8th, I'll be conducting mine and my co-host Steven's live draft for our 12-man league. So I'm super stoked. Still debating if I want to join another league or not. But as always, if you guys enjoy this video, go ahead and smash that like button. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, sitting at 70 subscribers. So go ahead and hit the sub button, show some support, man, and let's drop some comments in the comment section down below, as well as or as far as what you guys need to see in your personal mock drafts, or excuse me, personal fantasy league. So nonetheless, enough talking. Let's hop into this. We've already seen a huge run on running backs with CMC, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, my guy Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Zeke all off the board. So the 7th overall selection, kind of a tough one, right? I mean, you kind of have that next tier of running backs available. You've got Travis Kelce and Devontae Adams both sitting here. I'm going to go ahead and roll with a running back. And really, for me, it's between Aaron Jones and Nick Chubb. I don't mind Austin Eckler or Jonathan Taylor here as well. But I'm just going to go out and I'm going to select Aaron Jones because I'm very confident in the season that he's going to have. And we know that we can turn around with this 10th overall selection, and get a very valuable player, whether it's a running back, a receiver, a tight end like Travis Kelce, who could very well be selected with this 8th or 9th overall selection. But nonetheless, even when we select in the 3rd and 4th round, we're going to have some pretty valuable overall selections. So I'm kind of targeting Nick Chubb here, to be honest. One of our loyal subscribers, Made for TV underscore, has talked about this a lot in the comments, right? With the ESPN rankings, it's very possible to go out and get Aaron Jones at the end of the 1st round and then turn around in the 2nd round and get a guy like Nick Chubb. And it's no disrespect to Jonathan Taylor or Austin Eckler in your PPR leagues, or even guys like Antonio Gibson or Najee Harris. But nonetheless, Aaron Jones and Nick Chubb, two very elite running backs. In my opinion, definitely top 10 running backs. I mean, you could scoot them closer to RB7, RB8, right? So even though they have the same bye week, I'm very confident going out and getting both of those guys. So let's kind of keep track of what's going on here. After my selection of Nick Chubb, we've seen Austin Eckler and Jonathan Taylor off the board. Tyreek Hill, who has looked phenomenal in this preseason, off the board. Antonio Gibson, Najee Harris, and Stephon Diggs to finish out the 2nd round. And here in the 3rd round, we've seen tight end Darren Waller, as well as DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley. And I expect a very large run at the wide receiver position here. So I'm going to try, since we're very confident in those first 2 running backs, I'm going to mess around a little bit here. You guys know that in 8-man leagues, I tend to have a tendency, so to speak, right, of just going out and stacking at the RB position. But let's change it up a bit. Let's go double RB early, and then let's target a wide receiver and tight end with these coming selections. So a lot of good receivers here that we're very confident in. But for myself, Justin Jefferson stands out amongst those guys a little bit more than the rest of them. No disrespect to any of those players, right? But Justin Jefferson, I think, is just going to have a fantastic year and had a special rookie season as well. So with this 26 overall selection, Patrick Mahomes is sitting here. We could go out and target a quarterback, but George Kittle is also sitting here, someone who I would really like to add to this roster as we see James Robinson selected. David Montgomery sitting here. You guys know how I feel about David Montgomery. If this was my personal league, I'd probably go out and get him, but like I said, we're going to try and not go so RB heavy for this mock draft. But the other observation here is Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still sitting here. A big question mark with that ankle injury. A lot of people are staying away from that of CEH. But nonetheless, I think when he is healthy, he's going to have a very productive year. But you're just kind of looking at a gamble, knowing that he has that injury as he just got selected after our selection of George Kittle. So coming up here in the fifth round, we do want to target a quarterback, and then we want to turn around and get another running back that we believe presents good value, as we've seen Terry McLaurin, Allen Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, and my guy David Montgomery, all off of the board. If there's a wide receiver that slips here that we're confident enough in, then we might go wide receiver here as well. Let me tell you guys, I'm getting ready to pump out like some pretty short content on just one or two players and some observations on them. And the more and more I look into DJ Moore, he is a guy that I really want on my fantasy teams. A very easy strength of schedule. And you could argue that Robbie Anderson is another guy that I really want on my uh, fantasy rosters as well. Uh, being that you can get Robbie Anderson a little bit later on, and he still has that very, very easy strength of schedule. And both of these guys, I think, are going to have very productive years in that Carolina Panthers offense. I know that Sam Darnold is worrying a lot of people at the quarterback position, but nonetheless, I think that they're both going to have really good years. So with this next selection, we can really fill out this roster. There's a couple running backs that I like here. I mean, Josh Jacobs, our guy Gus Edwards, who's skyrocketed in his ADP with that unfortunate injury to J.K. Dobbins. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to get Chris Godwin here. And then we're going to hope that Patty Mahomes falls to us. It's relatively unlikely as we see Chase Edmonds selected and our guy Robinson takes Patty Mahomes, right? So, uh, the vice versa situation there is that we could have just selected Patrick Mahomes. There's enough good receivers here, like a Brandon Ayuk, a Julio Jones, DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Deontay Johnson, that we probably didn't need to pick Chris Godwin there, right? But I'm a little bit more confident in Chris Godwin's year than I am the rest of these guys listed. But I mean, Tyler Lockett through Brandon Ayuk and even T. Higgins here, all of these guys are going to have fantastic years. But nonetheless, since Patrick Mahomes did get selected, we could go ahead and secure the QB position with that of Josh Allen. But I'm going to pick up Josh Jacobs and add some depth to the RB position with a running back that I'm very confident in. And then we will look to the quarterback position in the coming rounds. But I feel very good about the start to this roster. It feels very even par overall. We've got Aaron Jones, Nick Chubbs, and Josh Jacobs at the running back position. Two absolute stud wide receivers in Justin Jefferson and Chris Godwin, and then an absolute monster at the tight end position in that of George Kittle. So after my selection of Josh Jacobs, we've seen Josh Allen right off the board, Tyler Lockett, Myles Gaskin, Deontay Johnson, Cooper Kupp, and now Kyler Murray. So expect a little bit of a run at the quarterback position here. Now we see Javonte Williams, Julio Jones, and DJ Moore. So definitely going to see some skill position players taken. Probably some tight ends start to go off the board as well, with Mark Andrews, Hawkinson, and Kyle Pitts still available here. So my next couple targets, let's go ahead and see who's available at the running back position. We've got Gus Edwards, Kareem Hunt. Damian Harris looked pretty good in his preseason action last night. And we are on the clock. Kareem Hunt is sitting here. I don't know if I want to be stacking both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt on the same team. I just don't know how I feel about that quite yet, but it could definitely work out. So we've still got some good quarterbacks sitting here. But I like a lot of these running backs who are sitting here as well. So this is a tough decision. Let's go ahead and see who's rated at the top here. I mean, it's our guy, right? Jerry Judy's sitting here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a receiver to this roster, and that of Jerry Judy. And now we feel very, very confident overall at the wide receiver position. And we really don't need to pay attention to it for the rest of the draft, right? So I'm thinking with this next selection, we just go ahead. We could either go out and get a guy like Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott and really secure the quarterback position with an elite player, or we could go ahead and add another running back to this roster, right? So let's go ahead. I think one or two of these guys is probably going to slide into the next round. I like Damian Harris here, and I like Darrell Henderson as well as Mike Davis, right? But I do think we have three very solid running backs on this team as well. So let's go ahead and pick up a quarterback who plays a lot like a running back in that of Lamar Jackson and add some very good overall value to this roster. And then we'll go ahead and evaluate. We've got a run on tight ends happening. Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews off the board. So at this point, we just want to go. We need a couple more running backs to add some depth, but we do want to just go ahead and start selecting the best available players. We've built a very good core roster, in my opinion, and now we're going to see a lot of good skill position players taken, a lot of valuable players taken. There goes Darrell Henderson, as well as Aaron Rodgers. We've seen Chase Claypool, Cortland Sutton, Robbie Anderson, and Logan Thomas, and now it is my turn to select. So we made a good gamble with those last two selections, securing a wide receiver that we're very confident in, and that of Jerry Jeudy and Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position. And Mike Davis is still sitting here, so I'm going to go ahead and pick him up, and then I'm going to make Damian Harris my next overall target, but it's very likely that he gets selected here. But if he doesn't, or if he does, excuse me, then we still have a lot of good players to choose from here at a lot of different positions. Corey Davis is sitting here, Antonio Brown, Mike Williams. I mean, a lot of good players, right? And I know we said we were taking a break from the wide receiver position, but at the moment, it's looking like the most valuable players are sitting there at the RB position. We're going to hope that Ronald Jones slides into the next round at least, but if we can add Ronald Jones to this roster, then that is going to add a lot of value in a late round selection as well. So Devontae Smith from the Philadelphia Eagles was just selected. I like that pick here. I think that shows some good confidence and someone that my co-host Steven is very big on in this preseason at the moment, and someone that I like a lot too. I do believe that Devontae Smith is going to be the wide receiver one in that Philadelphia Eagles offense. And now we see a couple of receivers taken: Michael Gallup, Jamar Chase, Noah Fant, and then a couple QBs: Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, and now we've got more receivers going: Cooks, Boyd, Chenault Jr., and Deebo Samuel, and now Michael Thomas. And there goes DJ Chark. So we should be able to once again secure some very good players. Raheem Mostart is off the board. And these receivers are like some guys that I just can't not draft, right? I'm going to add Corey Davis to this roster. I think he gives us great wide receiver one value. Part of me really wants to take either Mike Williams or AB here. Excuse me. I'm feeling pretty good about the running back position. I think there's a chance that Ronald Jones falls to us. So we already have Chris Godwin on this team, right? We already have some stock in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. So let's go ahead and let's add Mike Williams to this roster. And we are feeling very good overall with this roster, right? I mean, it looks really good. So my next two targets, I can already tell you, are going to be my guy, Ronald Jones, the second. I mean, a couple other good running backs available, right? Michael Carter's still sitting here. I Melvin Gordon sitting here, who I've gone back and forth on. Jamal Williams, I didn't mean to cue, but he is sitting here. Naheem Hines, right? So, but nonetheless, I want to add Ronald Jones to this roster, and then I want to turn around and get a tight end in either that of Robert Tonyan or a guy like Mike Gesicki. So, let's go ahead and add Robert Tonyan. You guys know how I feel about him. I think he's going to have a beautiful year. It looks like at this point we are basically just drafting against auto drafters. So let's go ahead and finish this thing out and select a defense or kicker. I think we did a great job with this roster. Man, with these ESPN ratings, and I mean, I do like that in these mock drafts, they make it relatively realistic to where teams aren't picking defenses until, in this case, the 15th round, right? At the end of the draft, right? Which I think is very realistic overall. But nonetheless, it seems like whenever I do these ESPN mock drafts, I end up with a pretty good defense, including who I'm going to select here with the LA Rams. And then we'll go ahead and see who's available at the kicker position. Then we will break down this roster. Let's go ahead and get my guy Young Ho Q, Young Wei Q. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. My apologies. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and break into the roster. At the quarterback position, we went out and we got one quarterback, the only one we're going to need other than by week 8, and that of Lamar Jackson, an absolute stud. Here it is. Your draft is complete, team. The Catch. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already a part of the Catch fam, man. Nonetheless, let's continue breaking down this roster, right? So we've got at the running back position, we went out and we got two absolute studs in the first and second round, and that of Aaron Jones as well as Nick Chubb. Outside of that, we've got Josh Jacobs, Mike Davis, and Damian Harris, as well as Ronald Jones II. So we're feeling very, very confident overall at the running back position. A lot of good depth. And like I said, I usually lean very RB heavy in these 8-man mock drafts, but I took a little bit of a step back with this specific mock draft. And I think that it still worked out in our favor in terms of winning a lot of valuable running backs on our roster. At the wide receiver position, we went out and we got Justin Jefferson pretty early. We went around, we turned out with Chris Godwin as well as Jerry Jeudy, Corey Davis, and Mike Williams. So I feel very good about the receivers on this team. Very, very confident as far as who our flex players are. So yeah, I feel great with those guys. And then at the tight end position, we got George Kittle and Robert Tonyan. So I feel absolutely ecstatic about the two tight ends we got. And then we got the Rams defense and Atlanta's kicker, Younghoe Q. So we feel very, very good about this roster overall. I got nothing else to say, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful or entertaining in any way, go ahead and smash the like button. Like I said, we are on the road to 100 subscribers. That is the new goal here at the Catch, and you can make us reach that goal much, much quicker by going ahead and subscribing. Go ahead and drop some comments down below with what you guys need to see in your personal fantasy leagues, what type of mock drafts you guys need to see. For most people, we've only got a week or so before the drafts come if you haven't already drafted. So let me know what you guys need. Let me know what you guys want to see out of myself and my co-host Steven. And nonetheless, I'm going to be pumping out content all week long, even though I'm at the beach. Does not matter to me. I want you guys to be getting some good quality content. So once again, I thank you all for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch.